And you are live. It says the machine. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are on this planet below my spaceship. My name is Miriam Cunha, and I welcome you to my channel where we talk about things that are beyond the veils of illusion. and we have fun with it because that's what we're here for. We're here to have fun. I hope you can hear me. If you're watching and you can type something on the chat that you can hear me, I will appreciate that because I see my microphone is working, but you never know. Now I put some more volume and hopefully everything is ready to go. And let's see, have anything else here about microphone? No, everything seems to be good, 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 good. There you go. Okay, so tonight we are going to talk about freedom. Actually, let me look at the camera. I changed the camera, so I'm using a different camera, and the camera is right in front of me. So you should get used to look at the camera because then I'm looking at you and not at the screen. It's such a challenge to look at the camera because it's kind of weird. Hello, Robert. I'm talking to you from space. Thank you for letting me know that you can hear loud and clear. Thank you. All right. So today on the Mayan calendar that I follow, the Tzolkin calendar, it's a challenging day that happens every 13 days, every sequence of 13 that the Mayans like to work with, 13. So 13 it's a big pattern for the mathematics of our galaxy. We're full of patterns everywhere. If you observe around yourself, nature and Earth and our planets and our solar system, our galaxy, our universe, us above, us below, it's full of patterns. So the Mayans loved to work with the patterns that were frequencies of numbers with symbols. And this Mayan calendar that was their sacred spiritual calendar called Tzolkin, it's a calendar that they follow for the patterns of what we came here to learn. So when you translate your Gregorian date of birth into that calendar and you correlate the dates, then you find out what you came here to do because it tells you your objective here. It doesn't mean that's all you are. It means that your consciousness is focused on that specific pattern of learning. It's like a wave of learning. Like if you go to college and you say, okay, I am going to study computer science, and into computer science, I have options. I can focus on learning web development. I can focus on learning software development. I can focus on learning network. I can focus on learning database. So there are different things you can learn in one thing. And that's what happens with our souls. We choose to learn about something. So our consciousness dives into this wave and is born in one of those frequency days. And then if we actually learn about this calendar, we find out what we came here to do. But not only that, not only the individual patterns, but we also find out about the patterns of the planet itself and what we're going through. And that's what I wanted to talk to you more about, because at the present moment, we're going through a wave that crosses the middle of the calendar, and the middle of the calendar, which is looks like a cross pyramid looking from above. So it's like if we're on top of the pyramid, like we climbed the all the steps, we reached the top, and then we continue from there, leaving the top, going back again to the other side. If we look at it in a three-dimensional perspective. So we're on top of that or in the center. And the meaning of being on that position of the time space is that we are closer, we're in closer contact with the center of the galaxy, or with the Mayan god Hunabku, which is the energy that rules the whole galaxy where we inhabit, where we live. So being on those days, we receive a lot of energy straight from the center of the galaxy, a lot of light codes being downloaded. And because we are in synchronicity with a very special time space on Earth, we're closing a big cycle of 26,000 years of experience where darkness has been ruling, because as the yin and yang symbol, there is this period of darkness and the period of light. So we're in the transition between darkness to light, and that is now the time of thousands of years of light ruling. And we're in this transition there, that very center point of transition. And exactly this week, between Saturday and between Friday and Saturday, we navigated through this middle, the center, the peak, the top of the pyramid, however you want to put it. And we're feeling all this energy, we're downloading all this information at an individual level, because every one of us is in a different level of experience. We're all experimenting according to our own individual development. So I am not going through the same thing as you are, because every one of us has different experiences. Sometimes we meet people that have similar experiences, but it will never be exactly the same, even in the same family that lived together for several years, because we can experience something from different perspectives as well, and we can have different understandings from the same thing. And I'll give you an example of a very traumatic thing that happened with my family some years ago. We had a semi-truck, or one of those big old SUVs, manual car, hitting our house and entering the living room and destroying the wall and everything, the furniture, everything we had there. Fortunately, we were not that close that we had the heat of things hitting us, but we didn't get that much of a heat if we were sitting in the couch, for example. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that the three of us who were at home when that happened experimented that particular situation from a different perspective. For example, I panicked because it was a shock. I was very near the living room, and I actually fell, and I saw all these things flying my way, and I was in shock, and I started crying because it was a shock, something completely unexpected that happened. And another person at home actually said, "Oh, why are you crying? You know, the insurance is going to cover this." So this person was completely calm and looking at things from a different perspective than I was. And it was the same experience. And I'm just saying that to illustrate how we all experience things in a different way, even if it's the same thing. So we all went through the same experience, the three of us, but the three of us felt it in a different way, had a different thought about it, and related to the incident in a different way. And that's how we are. We're all individuals experimenting similar things or not, but all in a very individual perspective, in a very individual level. And that's why we should all learn to respect each other's level, although it's very hard when we're going through a transition of times like we are right now, expecting things to come to light faster and for people to wake up in a mass awakening, which is happening, but it's not happening as fast as some of us would like to. So we have to be patient and wait, because everybody is in a different level. And some people, some individuals, some souls have decided that they need more time experimenting this, and they will move on into a planet that will experiment all these thousands of years of darkness again. And some of us decided, no, that's enough. I think we've been through this enough, and we want to move on into a more light experience, a more enlightened, a more light, I would say, like light, because there's so much suffering on the experience here on this planet. Although the planet itself is beautiful, harmonious, nature is here to show us all this harmony and beauty. And we dive into this Maya dramas. And when I'm saying the word Maya, now it's the word Maya according to the Indus, but which means illusion. So we dive into these dramas that are illusions. And one of them is the imprisonment of our free self. And the reason why I am touching on that specific point, it's because we're going through a sequence of 13 days, which started yesterday, which passed through the center of the calendar, of the sacred calendar of the Mayans, which is straight on energy information from Hunabku, from the god of the center of the galaxy, which sends these codes of light, and we can take advantage of these codes of light and awaken parts of ourselves and let go of things that don't serve us anymore. So particularly today, and today represents the second day of the sequence of 13 days. This second day is the yellow human. The yellow human on the Mayan calendar represents freedom, represents free will, represents intelligence, and using our intelligence and our free will to be free. But this archetype, the yellow human, that represents all of that, it is actually in a frequency of number 2. The number 2 frequency is challenge. Challenge means there is something that is a little bit more difficult and that we have to overcome so that we can actually accomplish our purpose. So in order to accomplish the purpose of this sequence of 13 days, which is to become more playful, to understand about the magic of manifesting things, to be more like a child looking at things with eyes of novelty and happiness, like this, wow, this is happening, let's dance and let's do this. And the monkey is the purpose of this 13 days. Monkey represents playfulness, it represents playing with illusion. So looking at all these illusions where we've been diving through here with more of a light state of being, like a child. And we learn a lot from children, souls that had just incarnated here, they're on their first years, they're still looking at everything like, wow, I'm here incarnated, I have this body, I can do this and that, and everything is so playful. And little by little, we go diving into the dramas and veils and forgetting about that. So the purpose of those 13 days is actually to be more playful, to do not take things so seriously, to laugh about things, and to manifest the magic of living through the inner child with the challenge of using our intelligence and our free will to become free or remember that we are free. Because in reality, we've always been free. It's just that we forgot and we got tricked into diving into the mud and not seeing very clear how powerful we are on making our own decisions of where we want to direct things and what do we want to manifest for ourselves. So it is the challenge of the next, now this is the second day, so the next 11 days counting from tomorrow. That is the challenge. And I'm going to share with you the screen. And if you watch this video later on this week or later on, I'm just gonna tell you what date is on the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar today is April 25th, Sunday, April 25th, 2021. And I will share with you this screen. Bum, 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 bum. I think it's this one here. All right, so now you can see on the screen the yellow human number 2, which is the day of today on the Mayan calendar, and is guided by the seed, the seed, the yellow seed. So what that means is that through planting the seeds of freedom, we can actually understand that we are free, letting these seeds of freedom flourish. And this energy actually brings the understanding of why out of a sudden this weekend there were more protests going on about freedom because the system as we know it has been cutting slowly of the freedoms of traveling, the freedoms of hugging, the freedoms of working, the freedoms of actually moving or doing things. We've been slowly being confined into staying in close quarters and not moving much, not traveling much, not doing much. But we have been allowing that. That's the thing. And is our free will that we have to work with. And that's the challenge of this next 11 days is to understand that we have the intelligence and the free will to understand that we are free. We just need to let the seeds of freedom flourish and bring this freedom from inside out. You know, because the more that the system wants to enclosure our souls, our beings, and bury us under mud of darkness and suffering, they cannot imprison our free soul. And it is up to each one of us to embrace this challenge, to understand that we are free and let this seeds that we have been planting flourish. These are seeds of freedom, and they are being challenged now. So we can expect a lot of more manifestations around the world from human beings, from souls that are understanding that challenge and are freeing themselves from the chains of Maya, of illusion, from the chains of darkness that we've been carrying for so long. So let me move on from this. I'm just going to show you where we are. You see where we are in the center, this middle line here of the calendar. It's where when every time we go through this, which is every 260 days, we receive energy directly from the central sun of the galaxy, like I was saying at the beginning. And we go through that every 260 days. But because of all the synchronicities of patterns and the position towards the last 26,000 years that we are right now, we are reaching this center of the center position in a bigger scale other than 260 days. Remember when I talked to you about patterns, as above, as below? 260 days is a pattern of 26,000 years. It's a small pattern, it's a small fractal of that. So we are like, when you think about a pyramid and all these layers that reach the top of the pyramid, it's like we're reaching the top of the pyramid from the layers. Let's pretend the base of the pyramid represents the 26,000 years, and the top of the pyramid represents 260 days. We're on top of the pyramid right now. And from now on, we're descending the other side of the pyramid towards the next 26,000 years of light. This is talking about this solar system, in particular, Earth, where we are right now, focusing our consciousness. And it's difficult to talk about that in physical perspective, because this is multidimensional and we are time travelers, like the Mayans used to say, the surfers of the Zuvuya, surfers of time. Time is a bunch of spirals of energy that flow through experiences, creating different things, beauty especially. And we're surfing through this moment right now. Understanding that is very important, because it gives us a different perspective from our selves who have been identifying with the physical body as being who you are, because that's another big illusion we all dove into, is thinking and believing that this physical body you inhabit is all you are. And this physical body you're inhabiting is the vehicle, is the car you're driving, is the clothes you're wearing to be able to be on this 3D. So to be able to go on a highway, you need to drive a car. If you're going on a highway walking, chances are you're going to be hit by a car and you're not going to survive. So that's the same thing. To be able to be here on this planet on 3D as we are right now, we need this body. This is the vehicle. This is the car we're driving here. And okay, I diverged a little bit from freedom, but it's important to understand that. I'm making an analogy of the vehicle, because we identify ourselves with being the body when we're actually a soul inhabiting this body. The body carries a lot of information and programming on the DNA of the body, which comes from generations and generations from our both sides of the family. And this mixture of DNA and information and programming, it's there waiting for us to actually do something about it and evolve through that experience. but it's not who we are fully. This is where our consciousness is focusing on. And in reality, our consciousness has the capacity of focusing on different experiences at the same time. So it's like having different cars, but you drive all these cars at the same time. But the focus is on one because that's where your consciousness is focusing at the moment. But as you expand your consciousness, you start becoming aware of your other multidimensional selves, which sounds crazy, but once you experience that inside, you know it's true. And people will ask you, like I was asked today, can you prove it? How can you prove that? I cannot prove, I'm actually not even wanting to prove you anything. I challenge you to experiment that for yourself and find out who you truly are. Because only through your own experience of awakening your consciousness to who you are, then you will know and you prove to yourself. We're not here to prove it to anybody else but ourselves. And that's a challenge that I've been asked from different members of my family. Like how can you prove that? Is this scientifically proved? Well, it's proved for me, and I know what I've seen inside of me, and I have experienced that as a consciousness, and I'm just sharing with you here my stories and incentivizing you to actually search inside of yourself to find your own story, to find who you truly are, because it's a big question. We are just distracted and brainwashed by the system to do not look into that. So they say, oh, it's impossible. You will never find who you are, or if there is life after that. You'll never know that. Nobody has ever came back. That's come on, seriously. How many cases can you actually research of beings of consciousness that actually come back from the other side to actually say hello, even if it's like moving an object around you, whispering in your ear, or coming into a ritual meeting of people who are mediums and receive messages. Of course, there are fake ones in the because like there are everything has fake, right? In all the professions, but there are mediums that are in real touch with the other side. And, again, this thing about being proved, prove it to yourself. That's all you need. Okay. Um, so this is it. The challenge of this next few days is freedom. And we're serving others by teaching others that they can explore different ideas. And that's what I'm doing here with you, telling you, okay, you can explore different ideas. You don't need to be attached to the old ideas. There are many different things that we don't know yet or we forgot about. This next 13 days, 11 days now, will shape in the physical reality the understanding that there is timelessness and that we're not in a linear time imprisonment that has a beginning and an ending, that there is timelessness, which is the here and now. We're going to be in full command of our inner vision. So take advantage of that. Our intuition and inner vision are in full command these days. We're finding balance through the warrior, meaning finding balance through having no fear to face our challenge of freedom. We're channeling these days the evolution, the movement of the earth in the integrity of a big reflection a big meditation, activating the self-generation of energy, which is the challenge of the year until July this year, to self-generate our own energy. We're activating that these days. We're manifesting enlightenment. Manifesting enlightenment and letting go things through a new beginning, a new birth, a rebirth, becoming our own mothers, nourishing ourselves. That's how we're letting go of things this next 11 days. And our spiritual guides are collaborating with us by communicating to us about the spirit so that we can transcend this wave with the understanding that the universe is infinitely abundant and that there is some reality in our dreams on what we call the dream world. It's real. And that's what the night represents. And that's where we're transcending these days. All right. So I read for you the next 11 days, 12, counting with today, which is this big wave in the center of the calendar here. I went through the way, all to the way to here to the blue night. And that will happen. Let's see, what day is that? Just a moment. That's May 6th. We end this wave on May 6th. And from May 6th on, things tend to get better, which is it's good news from everything we've been going through, because it seems like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. But I see light right now because we reached the top of that pyramid and now we're descending to the other side, which is the light side of the story. So from now on the next, this is the middle, so next 130 days until we end this, until the end of July, we're going to be navigating through the second part of the calendar, which is closer to the light and to Hunabku, and we can expect things to build up for better. So don't lose your hope and be more playful, easier with yourself. I know the energies are intense and heavy. Not everybody's feeling it the same way. I know some people that are not feeling anything. They think it's just the influence of what you're reading, but no, the energies are changing. Time is changing. Everything is changing and moving all the time. That's a constant of the universe. And everybody feels it a different way. Everyone feels it a different way. And I wish you decide for an easier way for yourself. And I will talk to you soon. All right. Have a special on my website, which I already started building. So we have on the first page, when you go there, you can sign in for my newsletter. And if you sign for my newsletter in the next few days, you will get a mini chart reading of the Mayan calendar on your email. All right, so go there, www.miriamcunha.com. And there is the form there. There is a pop-up, which I'm going to remove, but there is a link to actually sign into the newsletter. And I will send you that mini reading of your main learning here on this planet. All right. So I'll talk to you soon and feel good about your experience here. We're here to have fun. All right. have a good end of the wave.